Guys, you won't believe what I just did. Yep, I fixed the orbit fan. Yo, he still works. So, let's talk about how I fixed it first, because I mean, it was broken. So, I had to use a multimeter for this, because at that time of recording, I didn't have a multimeter. So, yeah, now I did have a multimeter. So, first of all, what did I use for this? So, obviously, I used electrical tape. This one's green because the fan was kind of whitish green. It was originally black though. And this socket, this is a socket from the dead Panasonic F405LB. And I took it because it sucked. And a new capacitor, because the old one, well, I tested it with a multimeter. It literally read 0 microfarads. It wasn't doing anything at that point, so it was dead. So I had to use instead of the original 2 microfarads, that was supposed to be 2 microfarads, it was 0, so like it was dead. I had to use a 1.8 microfarad capacitor because I didn't have any other capacitors here. I used it from the Panasonic F405LB again. I tested it, the reading was 1.79, so it was still really good. I might replace it with a proper 2 microfarad soon, but so let's just talk about how I did it. So, no wait, no, not that. It's over here. So, first of all, there were 5 wires for this, and I was lucky because the wires were already labeled as 1, 2, 3 speed, but the start winding and the run winding and the common, I still didn't know what they were, so I had to test it with a multimeter just to be sure. So obviously I took the 3 speed because I wanted this to run at 3 speed all the time, because if you connect it like this, you won't be able to variably change the speeds. And back then, I think the regulators were not controlled like they are now, because there is a capacitor in the regulators today. But back then, they didn't have any capacitors, so I think it was directly wired to the fan. So it's kind of different. So what did I do? So the 3-speed was a red wire, and then I had like the 1 and 2 speed, but I ignored those wires, so I just tucked them away in this wire area, and I had the remaining green and white wires, which I didn't know which was the start and run, so I had total of 3 wires. So you gotta find a common first, because that's the most important. You don't have to mess that up. If you switch around the start and run windings, it's fine, it's not gonna explode. But if you do the common wrong, that's probably gonna burn and blow up. So I don't know, but it's unsafe to do that. So what did I do? So first of all, I had to test each wire. So with the multi-tester, I connected the red and green wires, which gave me 195 ohms, green and white wire 533 ohms, white and red wire gives me 352 ohms. So first of all, take note of the highest value over here. The highest value is these 2 wires. So these 2 wires are either both the run and start winding. The wire that isn't included here, which is the red wire, is the common wire. So we know the common now, which is the red wire. So that's fine. Now, these 2 wires, common and the green wire, gives me 195 ohms. So that basically gave me somewhere, so yeah, that gave me 195 ohms. So that tells me that this lowest value over here, this is the run winding, the green wire. So yeah, and the remaining white wires, obviously the start winding, which gives us this value. So how did I connect it? So connecting it. So when I connected it, this is the connection. So I'll show you right now. Here it is. So first of all, you gotta connect the common wire, which is the red wire, directly toward the socket over here. It doesn't matter which side of the socket you connect it to, because it is an AC motor. After that, you gotta connect the capacitor to the start and run windings. But take note of this. When you connect the other side of the socket, you gotta know which one has the lower value, again, the lowest resistance, which is obviously the run winding. It should always have the lower resistance. So you gotta connect it to that, because if you connect it to the start winding, the fan's not gonna blow air this way. Instead, it's gonna blow air behind you, which is not what you want. But you're not gonna explode, since yeah, it's intended to work that way. But yeah, so that's how I fixed this orbit fan. And since it works now, I'm probably gonna do a video on this soon. So yeah, it's fixed. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.